We're open. Our basement window standard sizes. Did you do the Michelangelo?
I don't think they have one.
This is his Michelangelo right here.
Michelangelo.
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 We have two single single hung windows, triple pane windows.
Are you gonna fly away?
What's that?
Are you going to fly away? Fly away.
I want to fly away. This is the best sound in the world, by the way. It's the sound of the oscillating saw drilling into my brain as they cut out the nail fin on this old basement window. Hey everybody, it's Ian from Timber Pointe Home Inspection again. Today we're in my neighborhood, Panorama Hills, best neighborhood in the world, but shitty windows in Panorama, unfortunately. So this house is only about 20-25 years old, and we're replacing some existing vinyl frame windows. You can hear the sawing going on. I'm cutting out the nailing fins. So it's a very annoying sound, but it pays off in the end when we're gonna get some new triple pane Ecoline windows installed. So come with me and we'll go have a look. We got our old window out. We're just having an inspection of the opening. No flashing on this, not even any paper. Luckily, no signs of water damage. This angle of the house is not really getting a lot of exposure to direct precipitation. It's kind of facing to the northeast, so you get lucky with windows like this when they're not protected like that. So it's beneficial to the homeowner that they're not going to have to do any extensive repairs here. We'll be able to just put our flashing on and install our new window in place. So just poking around, looking for signs of any rot or water damage, and everything looks like it's pretty firm, so that's good. We have our original metal drip cap flashing overhead. We're going to leave that in place. Again, if we have to remove that to install a new window, it's going to be a lot of mess with the stucco having to repair it. So we're going to leave that in place. It's in good shape, and we'll get ready to install our new window. Okay, we're just putting on our 3M sill flashing and making sure that it gets put on correctly. And that's going to cover up this sill and protect it from any water if it was ever to get in, prevent any damage in the future. So once the sill flashing's on, then we can get our opening ready, we can get our shims ready, and then we'll put a new window in place, shim it and fasten it in, and then we'll seal it around. So a couple 100-pound window, 3 guys, 5 minutes. We got a new window in place, and we're just gonna get ready to shim it and fasten it, and then we'll seal it, and then we'll put our casings back on, and then brand new window. Okay, not only today are we inspecting our windows, but we're also going to answer some questions, and one of them being our basement window standard sizes. Answer to that one is no. Every window opening is a different size. Now, I think what people might be meaning to say is an egress a standard size, and the minimum would be a standard. So a window opening to meet egress would have to be a certain standard, and that would be set by your local municipality in the building codes. So with a basement window that we're looking at here, it's always going to be a different size, so it always needs to be measured properly. And then when you're looking for an egress window, it's always going to start at a certain square area is going to have to be met to meet that egress standard, and then the window can be any size after that. So what we're looking at here is a sliding window. This is an older window. It's going to be coming out, but this one when you measure it, would meet modern egress standards and doesn't need to be opened. It's not like we have to cut into the foundation on this window to make it an egress for a bedroom. So when you look it up, you can go to your city of Calgary, and they'll provide you with measurements that a basement or any window would need to be to meet egress. So you can look at that. Did you do the Michelangelo?
I don't think they have one.
This is his Michelangelo right here.
Michelangelo.
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 So I actually had the homeowner ask me a very good question, and he was wondering why the windows wouldn't be a little bit closer to the existing framing. And I told him that we need to be able to have a wide enough gap that we can get our spray foam nozzle inside all the way to the front of the window. That way we can spray foam and seal up properly. If we have too tight of a gap, then we're not going to be able to get the nozzle in, and it's going to make the window a lot more inefficient. So the reason why we have a little bit more of a wider gap on the sides and on the top and the bottom is not only so that we can shim, so we can secure the window properly, but so we can also spray foam. Without the spray foam, without getting full coverage, it's going to lessen the effectiveness, and it's going to be not as comfortable. So this is why we're doing it this way, and this is why it makes sense. It works, and we can get all the way in and get full coverage. We got our new window installed, and we have 2 single hung triple pane windows installed on either side. So I want to talk about the difference between a single hung window and a sliding frame window. With a single hung window, it's going to go up or down, and it's going to stay in place because there's like a spring system that's inside the window that allows it to stay open, and then when it's closed, it'll lock into place. With a sliding frame window, it's just going horizontal movement, lateral movement. There's no need for any springs, so it's just a simpler system. So single hung windows are typically for smaller windows. You're not going to see like a large single hung window because it's going to be very heavy, and it's going to be a lot of work for those springs to hold it in place, and it could lead to it being damaged, especially if it was left open like in a wind, or some kids are playing with the window and putting it up and down, could damage it. So we try to keep the single hung windows a little bit smaller, which is typically why you wouldn't see them in a bedroom other than in like really old homes. So sliding frame is usually for a bedroom, or you're going to go casement for like a living room or something like that. This is nice to have a single hung just to get some airflow in, and then just a nice look. So that would be that purpose of what we're doing there. And I think that's it. We're in our office section, den room of the main floor of the house. We have some single hung windows that are installed. Look at that, they just go up and down, one finger, very easy. Stays in place. You don't have to worry about it coming back, crashing down on your head, and then it'll just lock into place. Really good quality window. We've reinstalled our original casings. The homeowner elected not to go with like a PVC style casing, so we have original casings, and you can see a little bit of paint has chipped off during that process. Nothing's 100% when we're dealing with like a replacement like this. So good thing is that the installers were going to come back and they will touch up with the paint colors provided by the homeowner. So this is something that's good to see. A lot of window companies aren't going to do this process. They're just going to be able to kind of wipe it away and move on, wipe their hands clean, and out they go, leaving up these kind of touch-ups that are necessary. So Ecoline's going to go ahead today and do those kind of touch-ups and make things like it was before they got here. So we're in a basement bedroom. We have a sliding frame window, and here's an area where you would not be using a single hung window because we don't have the vertical height here. So if we were to have a single hung window, we'd only be able to be about this high because the window's got to go up. So we're not going to be able to meet egress here. So this window for this bedroom either needs to be like a hopper style window, sliding frame, could be a casement window, but I believe the homeowner is just going back to replacing this window with a sliding frame, which makes sense. It's a little bit less expensive. So that's why you wouldn't be using a single hung, let alone a double hung window. You would be like the world's tiniest double hung window because it would be like just a tiny little thing there. So not something that you would be doing in this space. So every room has different windows depending on what's going to be required from the homeowners and what room it's being used for, and different purposes like that. So there's no real 100% answer to any of these kinds of questions. But in this aspect, the sliding frame is gonna be the most functional. and make the most sense. Another thing, if this was being used as a bedroom, this is pretty high to get up at. So I'll make a recommendation to the homeowner to have a ladder in this room if they're going to have someone sleeping down here. If there was a fire or an emergency, especially if someone was older, they're not going to be able to climb up and get out of the window. So they need a ladder or something to get out, just to get up to that height to get out. So I'll make that recommendation. It's a safety thing, so we're always worried about safety. So we're back in our dining room area. We're going to do some thermal imaging of our newly installed windows. The room has become a little bit more acclimated. The windows are kind of now the same temperature as the inside. So when I measure the temperatures, I'm just going to measure like the existing surroundings and kind of look for what numbers I'm getting. So right now I'm getting around 16 degrees, 15 degrees, kind of in that range. And with an older windows, less efficient windows, you're going to see those temperature differences, especially on a day like today where it's a little cooler out. You might see 5, 10, 15 degree differences between the window and the actual air temperature or temperature of the surroundings and materials in the room. So when we take our thermal imaging camera and shine it on our new Ecoline window, the temperature has basically changed, 0 degrees, maybe half a degree or 1 degree difference. So that shows how efficient these windows are. It shows you how efficient our opening is and how we've sealed it up properly with the spray foam. So this is really good. So when you go, again, if I take this to an older window, it's going to be maybe 7, 8 degrees. So that's where you're getting all that heat loss. So this is a really good tool for demonstrating that and showing you what you're getting when you go to a triple pane Ecoline window. This is the best sound in the world, by the way. It's the sound of the oscillating saw drilling into my brain as they cut out the nail fin on this old basement window.
It's drilling to my brain because I'm the one who have the headphones.
And you're the one with the headache.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, I'll live. I'm not sure about the video guy today. So once we get it cut out, then we can pop out the window, cut out from the top, and then the window is fully removed. Then we'll prepare it to install our new one. You'll see that this window here this is a basement window, but it doesn't have a window well. The reason for that is because it's not required. We're high enough off grade here that we don't need to worry about this window being exposed to moisture from underneath. If this window is to be down below, at grass level height or even below that, I've seen new build construction homes where the window is sitting in the ground in the dirt and there's no window well. Then in that case you need a window well required. So in this instance, it's not going to be necessary. So it's an easy basement window to do. These guys are happy working down on the ground like this. This is life. This is living here. So we just pulled our basement window out. You can see the nail fin here. You can see where they've installed nails, just kind of making up their own with a roofing nailer, going along, not even actually installing it in the proper holes. So that came out pretty easy. And then we have our lovely bat insulation. This window actually has it. Some of the windows we actually seen had no insulation at all. So that's great. So this just packs in there. It's not very effective at preventing any heat loss around the sides of the window. So when we get our low density spray foam insulation, we're going to seal it up 100%, and it's going to be a lot more comfortable, especially for a basement window. You want it to be nice and warm. Okay, we're looking at our older windows that have been removed, and we can just have an inspection of the frame and the sashes. So it's the older double pane windows. Some of the sashes were actually replaced at some point. Not sure for what reason. It could have been from failed seals, or they were trying to do like a retrofit and add some thermal efficiency and reduce some heat loss. But at the end of the day, this going with an Ecoline triple pane window was the better option. You can see how thin this frame is. With the Ecoline frames, it's a lot thicker. Don't need any added on jam extension to beef it up. The Ecoline is all in one piece. So really sturdy, really thick, and that thickness adds to the insulation factors and makes things a lot more efficient. So you can see how this, when the nail fin is cut off, we still have our window in place, but very inefficient and very cheap hardware. I have these windows in my house. They're garbage and easy to break, cheap screens, very entry-level builder grade windows. So glad to see that the homeowners improved and gone to the triple pane window today. So we have one of our finished windows that's installed. It's a picture frame or fixed frame window. There's no crank, there's no slider, there's no hung window. It's just a nice window to enjoy the view outside. It has this nice effect in here with the grills, or muntins, I think they're called. Just adds a nice little aesthetic piece to the room. Really ties in everything together. You can tie in kind of black fixtures and stuff as you go on if you want to really blend in things in terms of a design aspect. You can see how complete it is. Our casings are installed, everything looks good. All of the holes that they drilled out to install the screws have been covered with the white screw caps. So everything looks nice and finished. It's just a really good, clean look. I love when these windows are completed like this. Take your flashlight, you can see the three beams of light, triple pane window. What else to say about it? It's beautiful. We got some of our casing and we're just getting ready to cut it. Reason we're gonna have to do this is just to make sure that it fits around our new window and that there's not gonna be any gaps. So we just need to cut the casing, just trim off a little bit, and then that way we want everything to fit nice and square. Good cut. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up everything for today. We did some thermal imaging and some inspections of our new windows that were installed. We talked about single hung windows, double hung windows, and what purpose they serve and what rooms they would be beneficial in. And we did some inspections of the outside, our window openings. Everything looks really good. Installers did a great job today. And we're gonna move on and we'll see you guys at the next one.